Hello everybody, I'm the B2C Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether price is going up or down. FTX considered buying an island to construct human genetic experimentation. So Sam Bankman-Fried's kinda messed up. A new lawsuit filed against disgraced FTX CEO Bankman-Fried reveals frequently misguided and sometimes dystopian schemes FTX's nonprofit arm called FTX Foundation pursued. One of these memos suggested that Bankman-Fried and his brother Gabriel even discussed buying a tiny island nation called Nauru in Micronesia. The goal was to use it as a bunker if the population ever got cut 50 to 99.9%, when they would help repopulate the world and develop a lab for sensible regulation around human genetic enhancement. So very crazy stuff. They must be in with the New World Order. Fed bent the rules in the rollout of instant payment service FedNow, says Custodia CEO. The Federal Reserve launches FedNow instant payment service, which allows for real-time, always-on money transfers throughout the interbank system on Thursday. But Long called attention to the fact that the Federal Reserve records show Aiden, one of the 35 banks and credit unions with access to the new service, appears to have received its federal master account in July 2020, a year before the Amsterdam-based company was approved to establish a branch in the US, which is a requirement for having a master account. How does a fintech even have a Fed master account so it can qualify to clear US payments at the Fed? Isn't the Fed keeping fintechs out, Long asked? The Fed isn't complying with the law, she added, in another tweet claiming that the inclusion of the European private company fails to fulfill the Federal Reserve's requirement to become a payout provider in the US. Her cause for concern stems from the fact Custodia has repeatedly been rejected from gaining master accounts, which she calls not only unlawful, but un-American. Welcome to McNugget land. McDonald's launches a metaverse game in the sandbox. I'm not too keen on the sandbox, but there's a lot of people that aren't. McDonald's Hong Kong just unveiled McNugget Land, an official world that's now live in the sandbox. McNugget Land is the 40th anniversary version of the fast food giant's popular McNugget menu item. You have McNugget characters, decor inspired by dipping sauces, and playable quests with both real-world and blockchain-based rewards. So, if that's something that interests you, hop over to the sandbox, it's free. Bitfinex hackers agreed to forfeit billions in Bitcoin in plea deal. The couple charged with laundering $4.5 billion in cryptocurrency and conspiracy to defraud the United States through a 2016 hack of the crypto exchange Bitfinex have reached a plea deal. As part of the plea deal, the couple has agreed to forfeit proceeds from almost 120,000 Bitcoin they stand accused of laundering, and they could face up to 20 years in prison. U.S. prosecutors said that the culprits employed numerous sophisticated laundering techniques, allegedly using false identities, automating transactions, and then depositing the funds on a variety of exchanges and darknet markets, a process known as layering. Not too much useful there, so we're going to go on to the charts. If you find our daily videos useful and you haven't liked this video already, you should real quick, and also subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Also check out the nice merch from Reaper Apparel Co. down in the description below and join our Discord. There's going to be some goodies for anyone who joins, the first couple people. So, over on our total market cap, we are trying to get a bit of a bounce off this support level still. However, we're still getting indecision candles. Our RSI is pretty flat, our momentum is coming down, and our stochastic looks like we could get a bearish drop here. Our money flow is struggling to maintain bullish momentum, and our VWAP looks like it could reject away from this neutral line here, so keep an eye on the next few candles. Over on our Bitcoin dominance, we are taking a little bit of a slide overall, but we are trying to get a little bit of a pump today. RSI is trying to get a little bit of a recovery, and money flow wants to bounce. Our stochastic is pretty beat down, but our momentum wants to get a green dot as our VWAP's trying to push through that neutral zone. So if the VWAP can break through the neutral, we could get some bullish momentum here. Over on Bitcoin futures, we're still bouncing around in this flag. We're still testing the bottom. Each time you touch a support or resistance, you make it weaker, so keep that in mind. Our RSI is overall losing strength. Stochastic's pretty weak, real tight. It had a bullish cross, but it's not going very far. Our momentum is heading down overall into the bearish territory, and our VWAP is starting to round off and flatten out here, so keep an eye on it. Over on Bitcoin, we're trying to get a bit of a retest to this flag we had, where we want to break back in, so if we can hold back in it, we could potentially still break up through it. Our RSI is trying to make a bounce. Money flow is somewhat teetering here, so just watch if it rolls over. Our VWAP is trying to head up toward the bullish territory, but we are starting to kind of round off here, so we could get a push down if we're not careful. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we are overall zigzagging around. Our RSI is trying to point up, stochastic's trying to head up. Our money flow overall is getting lower highs. Our VWAP is starting to kind of taper off, so our momentum could see a red dot if this continues. Over on the 2 hour here, our stochastic is trying to round off. RSI is trying to push up. Our VWAP is overall trying to make lower highs, so keep an eye out for that. If that pushes down, we could be in for more bearish action. Our momentum is in the bullish territory, but if that VWAP loses strength, it's likely to roll over. Our money flow is trying to go into the bullish territory, so watch if it can hold strongly for several candles. If not, if it ends up like this, we could just see more bearish action. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting a green dot that wants the signal we'll get a push up. We're not getting too strong of a green candle right now, so hopefully we'll get some strong green candles. If not, we could see a red candle that pushes us lower. Stochastic is trying to ramp up, RSI is trying to push up, momentum's trying to go up, but our VWAP's starting to curl out, so keep an eye on that. If that pushes lower, we could see momentum start to drag out. Money flow is in the bullish territory slightly, so we'll have to see if it can hold and actually stay strong. Over on graph for the daily, we are trying to push away from this pattern, kind of like I mentioned. RSI is going kind of flat here. Our momentum is pretty flat above that neutral area. It wants to get a curl here. Our VWAP wants to break through that neutral, so if our VWAP can make a break, we could see that momentum pull up with a green dot. Stochastic wants to make a bullish cross, so our stochastic wants to gain some strength, so we'll have to see if it can break over that 30 zone. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we kind of broke out of this pattern, and we are retesting, so if we don't break back in and we get some green candles, we could go toward our Fibonacci area. Stochastic is running up, RSI is starting to curl off though, so keep an eye out for that. If that keeps curling off, we could lose some steam. Momentum is starting to round off with a red dot, so that could play out like a top pattern if we're not careful. Our VWAP is starting to head down toward that neutral. It wants to break through. If it does push through and hold, we could see some further downside. Our money flow overall is starting to round off with lower highs and lower lows, so we are getting a downtrend on money flow. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is pushing down pretty strongly. RSI is trying to make a little bit of a bounce, but if that stochastic keeps pushing down, that RSI is going to lose strength. Momentum's coming down with a red dot because our VWAP's pushing pretty strongly in the bearish territory. Our money flow did make a bounce off of that bearish zone, so we do have bullish money flow, but we are struggling to break through the 7 area. So if we don't break through, we could get a rejection and ultimately end up pushed down. Over on the 1 hour, we have a manipulation X that wants to bring us down, but we kind of gapped up, so we may get a little bit of a push down from that. Our RSI is trying to head up, stochastic wants to get a bit of a curl. Our money flow overall is making lower highs, but maintaining bullish momentum. Our VWAP is trying to push through that neutral, so if it can push through, our momentum might curl back up over into the bullish territory. Over on Anchor for the daily, we do still have this wedge that we're in, so just keep an eye out for that. Stochastic wants to make a bullish cross, getting really close. RSI is trying to head up. Momentum wants to curl. Money flow is coming in. And our VWAP is attempting to get to that neutral. So if it breaks through that neutral, we could see a green dot on that momentum, and we could get a push up. Over on the 4 hour, we have a little bit of a reversal arrow, so we could get a push down if we're not careful. Stochastic's trying to run up. RSI is struggling to get new highs, so we overall are kind of going flat. Money flow overall is starting to inch its way out, and our VWAP is getting weaker. Our momentum could start to round if our VWAP heads toward that neutral and breaks. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a green dot that wants to push us up, but we're not really going anywhere. Stochastic's pretty flat, about to make a bearish cross that could bring us down. RSI's pretty flat, it wants to curl up, but if that stochastic loses strength, we could push lower. Momentum's trying to push up as our VWAP's trying to curl up, but if this doesn't maintain, we could get slammed right back down. Our momentum wave is doing decent, VWAP's doing decent, money flow is making higher highs, so the 2 hour is looking a little better. Over on the 1 hour though, our money flow's in the bearish territory, so if we push lower, we could see that drag into the higher to medium to higher time frames and drag us lower. Our RSI is stretching, stochastic stretching, and momentum, they're all struggling to go anywhere. Our momentum wants to push up, but our VWAP's starting to round off, so if that VWAP breaks that neutral, we could get a rejection from here. Over on XRP, we are pushing below our golden pocket, so we are getting a rejection of that golden pocket. RSI and stochastic are falling together, momentum is falling with the red dot as our VWAP is in the bearish territory, and our money flow is overall starting to curl out. Over on the 4 hour, we do have that manipulation next. It is trying to bring us lower, RSI is starting to crash down, stochastic's beat down. Money flow is overall losing strength, getting really close to that neutral. Our momentum is pushing down, it is in the bearish territory, and our VWAP is rejecting away from the neutral, so if that continues lower, we could see some lower price action. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic's making a bearish cross, so that could push us down. RSI wanted to push up, but rejected, making a new high, and is sliding. Our money flow is testing that neutral, so it could flip into the bearish territory. Our VWAP has crossed in the bearish territory, so our momentum is getting a red dot pushing us lower into the bearish zone. Over on the 1 hour, we have a manipulation X here that wants to bring us lower. We had one back there that brought us down here. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is overall pushing down, wants to round up though, so we'll have to see if it can gain some strength. Our momentum has broken in the bearish territory as our VWAP is pretty bearish. Our VWAP's trying to bounce, so if it can head toward that neutral, it may try to save us. Our money flow overall is making lower lows in the bearish territory and is pretty decently bearish, so if this continues, that could weaken the other time frame. Over on the daily for algo, we're still kind of just zigzagging around here too. Stochastic wants to make a bullish cross, RSI is trying to gain momentum. Money flow is kind of flattening out. Momentum wants to get a green dot as our VWAP doesn't really know if it wants to go bullish or not. So we'll have to see if these bullish signals can actually push us through the point of control and toward the value area high. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic is making a run up. RSI is trying to push up. Money flow is in the bullish territory but heading down, so keep an eye if it breaks bearish and holds. VWAP is in the bullish territory but starting to taper off, so that could push our momentum back down, but just watch if it makes a bounce or not. Over on the 2 hour, we're trying to get a green dot here, so that wants to push us higher. Stochastic is starting to taper off though, RSI is gaining strength, but if that stochastic loses strength, the RSI is likely to follow. Money flow is in the bullish territory and our VWAP and momentum are heading up pretty strongly in the bullish territory, but our VWAP is making lower highs. So if it starts to curl off, we could get pushed back down. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is trying to ramp up, RSI is trying to push up, momentum's coming up, our money flow is maintaining bullish momentum, but our VWAP is starting to come out, so just keep an eye on that VWAP. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.